Let's focus on a couple of aspects then. It seems you haven't got the full benefit of higher spot ferrochrome prices. And you mentioned something to that effect in your press release as well. So break it up for us. How much of your sales are on spot? How much is on monthly? And how much of it is on long-term contracts? A rough number.
Thank you, Nigel, and good afternoon to all of you. Yes, Q1 FY22 has indeed been exceptional, as I said so in my statement in the press release. The blowout performance is basis steady operating performance and a sharp increase in ferrochrome prices, which are due to supply side issues. So let me dwell upon that a little bit to begin with. So basically, if you look year on year in terms of stainless steel growth, if you look at Q1 of last year versus Q1 of this year, stainless steel production worldwide has increased by about 25 to 26%. Whereas ferrochrome during that period has increased, supply has increased by about 6%. And in fact, if you look quarter on quarter, which is Q4 to Q1, stainless steel production worldwide has increased by about 3%, whereas ferrochrome supply has reduced by 6.5%, and that's on account of various supply side constraints, the most prominent of which, of course, are electricity restrictions in China, which is now the world's largest ferrochrome producer. And equally importantly, the social unrest that you have seen in South Africa, which is not just a large ferrochrome producer, but also a large supplier of chrome ore to China. And as a result of that, prices have shot up suddenly. Now, I would to give you a breakup of prices. Our FY21 realization, and I'm giving this for context, was about 70,000 rupees a ton, of which the last quarter of the fiscal was about 78,000 rupees a ton. In Q1, we have moved up to about 89,000 rupees a ton. And the ongoing quarter, we are looking at between 1 lakh to 1,10,000 rupees a ton. And keep in mind that during this phase, our EBITDA costing has more or less remained the same. Now, the specific answer to your question about the breakup of our supplies. So out of a production of broadly 60,000 tons, during the current quarter Q2, between 25 to 30,000 tons is against long-term contracts, where we are getting on the lower side of the price estimate, as I indicated to you, and the rest is open for monthly pricing as well as spot sales. And there we fully expect to get the benefit of the ongoing price increase, and therefore the blended average we expect is going to be about 105 to 110,000 per ton.
Okay, so what exactly does this mean then, Mr. Panda, for your EBITDA? Because you had already guided for around 250 to 300 crores in the first half of FY22. You've already done, I think, around 173, 174 odd crores in this quarter itself, in the first quarter itself. So how exactly are you placed on your guidance there?
Yeah, so when we last spoke, and I was giving a guidance about EBITDA for the first half of FY22, I was being conservative in mentioning about 250 to 300 crores, of which, as you correctly said, in Q1 we have achieved just short of 175 crores of EBITDA. Now, it all depends how the prices hold up. I mean, if they hold up the way they are at the moment, then I think we will do in excess of 250 crores in EBITDA in Q2 itself. But we do expect a little bit of sanity to prevail, because what seems to have happened in China at the moment is one or two large producers have been caught on the wrong foot in terms of not securing adequate ferrochrome supplies, and that's leading to panic buying. And you are seeing spot prices in the range of maybe 130, and in fact, if you are able to deliver ferrochrome tomorrow, you might even get more than that. But even assuming for a little bit of cooling off going ahead, we still expect that Q2 EBITDA itself should be about 250 crores or a little better than that.
Wow. So in the first half of this year itself, you'll be at more than 400 crores. Just to put that into context, in the last entire year, though one quarter was a washout, you did around 340 crores. I think in FY 2018, you had done around 440 crores for the full year. So this is going to be the best year in all probability, even if we see softening of prices in the second half of the year. We take that guidance on board. You're going to make more money. Will you be repaying debt at a faster clip? In the past quarter, I think you've prepaid close to 27, 28 crores approximately. For the year, what is the debt repayment schedule? And also, will you be prepaying some debt?
So you've actually hit the nail on the head. This is a cyclical business. I've said so many times in the past. We will see up cycles and we will see down cycles, and the point is to take advantage of the up cycles to put the business on a different pedestal. So, three priorities in terms of the exceptional cash flows. First, in as much as debt repayment is concerned, after the first quarter, we are at about 360 crores of long-term debt. The scheduled repayment will bring us to 300 crores of long-term debt at the end of the current fiscal. But given the way the situation is, we certainly expect to prepay, at least another 40 to 50 crores, if not more. That is number one. The second thing is our expansion project, which we have talked about in the past, which was approved by the state government in November 2019, and where we have not made progress because of the pandemic-related uncertainty. So that is something that we want to go ahead with, and so there will clearly be outlays on land acquisition, etc., which will start, we will start incurring in the current fiscal. And last, but by certainly no means least, clearly shareholders are to be rewarded when we have an exceptional year like this. So even in FY21, we had an interim dividend of 30% and a final dividend of 70%. And we certainly hope to improve upon that in the current fiscal.
Oh, that's music to a lot of shareholders' ears, Mr. Panda. So can you expand on that? Would it be, besides an interim dividend and a final dividend, anything else that you would be contemplating in order to reward the shareholders? And about your interim and final dividend, would it be above 30% and 70% or at similar levels?
So a little too early to talk about it now, but clearly, if the performance is going to be better than last year, which is what it looks like, then it stands to reason that the reward should be better than what it was. But let me not get into the details at this point in time. But as I said, rewarding shareholders is one of the three priorities that we have when it comes to exceptional cash flows.
All right, Mr. Panda, you're saying that expansion has got delayed a little bit. By when do you think that 100,000 tons, I think, is what you were planning at? It could cost you, I think, roughly around 500 crores, if I'm not mistaken. You could correct me on both those two numbers. By when do you actually see this, coming into play, or commencement of this expansion coming into play?
Okay. So, like I said, the project was initially approved by the state government in November 2019. And we had hoped 2020 to start making progress on the project, but obviously the pandemic was not something that anybody had foreseen. So now that we are more comfortable on that front, and I'll touch upon another aspect, which is also the fact that there is a lot of consolidation happening in Indian ferrochrome industry, and that means that there is scope available to us to increase our share of the pie. But coming back to the expansion project. We are now pursuing it in right earnest, and if everything goes according to plan, we would hope to have the land allocation in place by the end of the current calendar year, and go for groundbreaking sometimes around middle of next year. And thereafter it's about roughly a 24-month period to commission. We will do it in phases, most likely one furnace first and the second following thereafter. But we'll have to review that. In terms of the capex, the initial, what has been the part of the project report which was approved as part of this whole process, that envisaged an outlay of about 550 crores. But that will need to be updated a little bit because clearly commodity prices, steel, etc., cement are moving up. So we expect a little bit of an upside risk to that number, but not something which will make a dramatic difference to to the economics of the project or the viability of the project. And clearly the cash flows that we are able to to generate at this point in time, internal accruals are going to be much stronger than anticipated, and that will enable us to sort of de-risk the project and ensure that at no point in time we cross something like a 0.5 debt equity for overall balance sheet. Keep in mind, at the moment, after the first quarter, we are already at about 0.27 debt equity.
Got it. Thanks so much, Mr. Panda, for stopping by. Just to give us a view as a quick perspective, in FY17, I think you did around 515 crores, and I think that was the best quarter that we've seen in close to around a decade. And this time around, in the first half of the year itself, you'll be doing more than 400 crores. We'll look to catch up with you, soon, but pleasure talking to you.